5 episodes later, and we finally got the ending we've been waiting for. Y'all, it took me 30 minutes before I realized why this episode felt just off. And then I realized it's because they weren't flashing back to Jamie. Like I said before, I enjoyed that pacing, but maybe it was just to make us feel extra sad for Claire. I don't know, but it did feel kind of long. Claire and Bree are coping with the death of Frank, and for Brianna this is especially hard. Losing a father and going through your first Christmas without your dad would be incredibly difficult. Brianna's grief is spilling over into her real life, and she's failing at school. Obviously, since Frank worked there for years, no one wants to see her fail, including her mother, but that doesn't stop her. Highly educated parents don't always have kids who want to share that education. Bree's kind of acting like the Denise of the Huxtable family. The mother and daughter have a major blow-up about Bree quitting school when we see the ever-sexy Roger pull up in a cab outside of their Boston home. Bree is momentarily stunned into warm silence, but then she just continues on with the rant against her mother. And you can't blame Claire. Nobody wants their kid to just say, "I'm taking a break." But Bree isn't totally done going over to Harvard. She's got one more event to celebrate her father's life with a fellowship. While there, though, Claire doesn't have a wonderful time remembering Frank. She runs into his side piece. And while Claire is obviously upset at meeting the mistress in this way, the mistress is so mad at Claire because Frank was her true love. I'm starting to think no one in this show can have anyone they love. Everyone you truly love is just out of reach. At first, it feels like Roger has just shown up at the house because he wants to see Bree. But then we find out the real reason is because he has actually found Jamie, who's a printer now under the name of Alexander Malcolm. Claire is upset and conflicted because now she knows Jamie is alive right now in Scotland, only 200 years and a stone's throw away. I'll be real honest with you here. I love my husband, but I also really love my kids. And I love my kids in a different way than I love my husband. It would be very hard for me to part with them permanently, mainly because they were a physical part of me. So it's hard for me to think about leaving them forever. But kids grow up, and as we've seen with Bree, she's fleeing the nest. So I guess maybe their departure is mutual. At least Bree makes it feel that way, and she encourages her mother to go. In fact, she tells her that she owes it to Jamie. Claire is hesitant, but prepares for her journey by making her own dress to the tune of the Batman theme. I wonder how Adam West would feel about his show being sampled on a romantic time-traveling show. Claire's also feeling insecure about her looks. She asks her friend Joe if he thinks she's sexy, and he thinks so, but when she gets home, she's still overthinking it and decides to color her hair. And then the show gives a plug to Clairol. What Roger, Bree, and Claire call the bat suit has all kinds of pockets in it, so Claire can take back some penicillin and other things she wants to keep. A few things about this episode that were a little off to me. One, they added in some storyline about Claire losing a gemstone every time she goes through the stones. Her daughter Bree gives her a necklace that's topaz, and then she just says, "Yeah, I'm gonna lose it. I always lose a stone when I come through." It's kind of filling in a whole big plot part with one sentence. Claire insists that Bree is not going to Scotland with her to see her off because she wants to go in peace, and she's so upset about leaving her. I don't know what it was about this episode. It just felt slow, and maybe it was supposed to. Maybe it was supposed to make us feel like it had been 20 whole years. But I'll tell you what, by the end, I felt like I really deserved that ending.